All right, on-time flights. We did one like it, but we haven't done this problem. Um, Oops, sorry about that. There we go. Um, this is a binomial distribution because we have flights from Dallas to Chicago, a fixed number. We have 100 of them. Probability of success is zero point 0.8, and they're independent of each other, and we only have success or failure, on time or not. Compute the mean and standard deviation of the variable x, which is the number of on-time flights. Well, if the number if you're watching this video before we talk about it in class, we're going to be talking about it in class. Um, if there's 100 flights and the probability of success is 80% to be on time, then you would expect 100 times 0.80 or 80 flights to be on time. Okay, so I'm going to do B also. We'll do sigma, and then B says in the long run, or on average, I would expect 80 of 100 flights to be on time. Okay, now the formula for the mean is n times p, and the formula for standard deviation is the square root of npq. Square root of 100 times 0.8 times 0.2. Q is just failures, so that's 100 times 0.8 times 0.2 is 16, and the square root of that is 4. Would it be unusual to observe 75 on-time flights in a random sample of 100? Why or why not? Well, I would look at it like this. See, 75 flights is just a little over one standard deviation away from 80, and so that's not unusual. Okay, so no. It is only a little over one standard deviation below the mean. Okay, all right, 45. Back to the morality question. This is the same type of question where we've got binomial. N is equal to 500. P is equal to 0.45, and X is the number who believe morality is poor. Okay, so what are they asking for? Compute the mean and standard deviation. Oops, let me leave that exposed there. So the mean is NP, which is 500 times 0.45, which is 225. Standard deviation is square root of NPQ, which is the square root of 500 times 0.45 times 0.55, which is 11.1. And interpret the mean. The mean just means, let's see, in the long run, out of 500 people, I would expect 225 of them to believe morality is poor. Okay, did you catch that? On average, out of 500 people, I would expected value there to be 225 of them to say morality is poor. Would it be unusual to identify 240 adults who believe it's poor? Well, 225, the mean's 225, plus 11.1 is 236.1, and 240, it's just a little bit over that. It's not two standard deviations away, because 225 plus 2 standard deviations away is 225, 35, 45, 247.2. It's less than 2 standard deviations above the mean. So no. It is less than 2 standard deviations above the mean. Okay. Lastly, 47. Spanking. 80% spank their children. Recent poll of 1030 adult Americans with children find that 70% spank their children. If we assume the parents' attitude towards spanking has not changed, how many would you expect to spank? Okay, so if n is 1030 and we say it's binomial because you have two options, spank or not spank, 80-20, success failure, independent of each other, then I would expect there to be 824 parents who spank their kids. Okay, do you think the real survey suggested parents' attitudes towards spanking may have changed? Well, let's look at the standard deviation, which is 1030 times 0.8 times 0.2, and standard deviation is 12.8. And let's see here, so 824 minus 12.8 is 811.2. So this is one standard deviation below the mean. Well, by this recent poll, we had 781 out of 1030. So what is 781? Oh, we had 781 spank. Oh, so that's way below one standard deviation. Let's do 2 standard deviations. So minus 12.8, 798. So this is below 2 standard deviations from the mean, comma. So yes, it is unusual. Alright, does that make sense? Alright, there you have it.